Andrew, thanks so much for coming in to talk to me. I think we met back in 2012, was it? I managed to convince about 100 people to come to the Royal Yacht and see a speech by Paul Dunn for about 3 hours. And then after that, I had 21 interviews the next week with potential clients. And you were one of the three that signed up. So 14 years, I think it is now.
Wow.
That we've known each other. And this podcast it talks about, we've got the self-titled #GreatAtBusiness. And it's really about the decisions and the disciplines and the moments over a period of time that people have been in business like yourself for a long time, how they get there, what drives them to do it, and those sorts of things. So that's what I want to get into with you today, just talk about a few things like that. But for the people who don't know who you are, what you do, what your background is, can you just give us a couple of minutes on what that looks like?
My name's Andrew Ruellan. I am the owner and master technician of Ruellans Garage. It's a business I started 33 years ago.
Excellent.
I actually got made redundant and I borrowed £1,000 from my hairdresser.
Okay.
And started the business. I mean, that was so long ago.
Were you being a mechanic back in, obviously you were a mechanic.
Oh, yes.
Before so why redundancy? What happened? Did they just weren't very good at running a business, or what happened to get you into a redundancy position?
Well, I think it was just a reshuffle.
Okay.
HR law didn't exist then.
No.
I mean, this is back in 1993. If you think the internet didn't really exist.
No.
0.5% of the population was on the internet, I think, or less.
Yeah.
Windows hadn't been released yet.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was done by hand.
Yeah.
So it was a completely different world to the world we live in now.
Mm-hmm. And was it a main dealer? Like, what sort of garage was it that you were at before?
Yeah, I was at a main dealer.
Okay.
And they had a rejig around, and I was one that was chopped.
How old were you in 93? How old were you?
How was I in 93? I would have been about 23, 24, I think.
Okay. So did you go away to uni, or what happened with school? No.
Well, I went to private school over here.
Yep.
My mum and dad spent a lot of money sending me to school. I was going to be a marine biologist.
All right.
So I looked at my options, picked my options for O-level, and then we're going to do A-levels, and then I was going to go on to Heriot-Watt University and study marine biology. Before my O-levels, I broke my leg.
Right.
And I couldn't go to school because we didn't have lifts. I just had to stay at home. So I was so bored. We didn't have the internet. You had some books, magazines. I used to go to my friend's house who lived a few doors down, and when he finished work, because you could leave school at 15 in those days. So he left at 15, which just sounds ridiculous nowadays. And he used to come home and I used to go and meet him there. And he had a motorbike and it broke. So his mum bought him a book on how to mend a motorbike, which he didn't read. So I took that home and read that book.
Right, yeah.
I thought, well, can you push your broken motorbike round to my house and bring some tools? And then I decided to read the book and fix the motorbike.
Okay.
I always had mechanical curiosity. I was always taking things to bits.
Okay.
And my gran would take me to the shops and I'd buy some plugs and wire and pretend I was trying to wire them up.
Right.
So I always had that. That was always something I did like, exploring things mechanically.
Yeah.
Took lots of things to bits, didn't put anything back together.
Right.
That's something I had to learn, when it came to a real job. So I said to my parents, I want to leave school. I want to go to Highlands and I want to study mechanics.
Ooh.
And they were extremely disappointed, to put it lightly. Yeah. They said, we spent all that money sending you to school and you want to just become a mechanic, which is something all these years on we laugh about now. Yeah. And then I went to Highlands for a year and then I started work at
the main dealer.
Main dealer.
Cool. So when, talk me through the sort of 3 to 6 months before going into business, because one of the purposes of doing this podcast series is to try, if there's a couple of people who are thinking about going into business for themselves, often there's a fear around doing that because it's the unknown, right? And you think, a lot of people think that they're safe in employment, and I'd say probably they're more safe if they're running their own business because at least they're in control of the decision making around that. In terms of that fear around how you thought, right, the hairdresser's gonna give me $1,000 and I'm gonna get into business. Like what was going through your head in terms of how you thought you might get clients, how you thought you'd have some security around revenue and income? Were you living at home? Like what was the basis on which you got going?
I always had a long-term plan to have my own garage.
Okay.
Right from when I was at that year at Highlands College.
Yeah.
One day I want to work for myself. Mm-hmm. But I thought that would look like minis. And in those days, it was old minis, 1970 minis. I was going to be a mini specialist called Mostly Minis. I had the name and everything in my head. But a young person, I didn't put anything aside. I didn't have a loose plan other than one day I'm going to that something in the far distance. But then it was all pushed upon me rather quickly by being made redundant. So that was one day. I had a month's money, and then the next day I was unemployed. That day I was self-employed.
Right.
And I actually used to work outside. I was living at home, which was nice.
Yep.
So that was nice and secure.
Yep.
And I just started fixing cars for friends, which I'd been doing already. But then I ramped that up, and I had enough work from the straight away.
Off. Oh, amazing.
Yeah. But it was hard working outside, weather permitting.
Yeah. So on people's driveways, was it? Or what was there? Because there was no ramps or anything?
No, there's no ramps. It was in my mum's garage. Right. I used to have to move the car from one side to the other. So do brakes on one side, move it out, put it in the other side so I could just get in.
Right.
I mean, it was tight. Or I could half hang it out. Even the first commercial premises I got had no ramp, and it could fit 1.5 cars in.
Right.
We used to jack things up. It was all nice and clean and tidy.
Yeah.
But it didn't have a toilet. If we needed the toilet, we used to have to go to a public toilet. It didn't have any running water. We had to go and get water. And now people complain to me if it's not quite warm enough, or if, there's a bit of a breeze on my neck, someone said to me the other day. I said, well, you want to try working down on the avenue when it's...
Dissing it down. I mean, in terms of the Mostly Minis thing's really interesting because obviously you are German car specialists,
yes.
And maybe there probably would never be enough minis to sustain a business that you've got now. But what early on you highlighted, do one thing really well. So what was and you still we will have regular arguments about you taking on new brands and doing that sort of thing, and there's always a lot of pushback during that conversation. But why do you think that you've always had that? What's the thought process around the niching into a particular brand of car or brands of cars?
Have a niche, but ultimately you need to find something that you enjoy doing. It's a long day if you don't enjoy it. There's lots and lots of people doing things that they don't enjoy. Yeah. They might be successful. Well, they might be making a lot of money out of it or a good living, but are they truly happy getting up every morning to do what they do? I don't think many people do that. I'm so fortunate that I love it. I absolutely love fixing cars. It's my passion. It still is now.
Are you saying that you wouldn't enjoy fixing other brands of cars, and therefore the niche happens as a result of that? What's the core around just really focusing in on a particular few brands? What's the rationale?
By focusing. Cars aren't how they used to be. Even back in 93 when we started, things were more generic. There wasn't computer.
In the past, they were more generic.
In the past, yes. Yeah. If you could fix a Ford, you could fix anything. They were all very, very similar. All the principles of how they worked were very, very similar. Now, they're all completely different. They're all separate. You need dedicated equipment to work on these cars properly. Mm-hmm. You need the information. It's all so complex compared to what it is. By specialising, you can then pool your resources just to those few brands, and then you will be a specialist in those. And when you do the same make of cars, you will then know what parts you will need to keep in stock. You will see common faults. You will know how the system works. If you're working on different cars every time you have a problem, it turns into research and development.
Yeah.
Now, by doing the same brands, your research and development, you will lose at that point, but you will get back in time because you will learn yourself. You don't know everything about a car until you have a problem. Even yesterday, I spent most of the day figuring out something that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
But we know that information will be used again and again.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we've talked about over the years is that, I can look at a balance sheet and I don't know how, but I just go, oh, that's wrong. You can just get that sense of that. And I guess that's is that the sort of thing that you're talking about? You're sort of saying that you can spot the faults because there's an underlying knowledge that if that's not quite right and that's not quite right, or is it even sort of more, is it like an alchemy or how do you how does it work when one of the other guys can't fix something, but you just sort of know? Where do you think that comes from?
It comes from a lot of training and a lot of involvement and actually thinking of the logical process behind it all. People will want to go for pattern failures. Oh, they all do that. Oh, I've been on the internet and that, and I say, your research doesn't stem from the internet. We are specialists.
You're always investing in the latest kit, but one of the other things that you're always doing is, when I come up to your office, the amount of business books that are in there and the amount of reading that you've done, it wouldn't be. I wouldn't expect to see that in a mechanic's office, in terms of how much thought that we used to run a business book club together.
We did, yeah.
And that was a lot of drinking, but it was a lot of fun. So, what do you think is driving that? And you've also done a master's from Loughborough, I think.
Yes.
So, I mean, that again, just in terms of sort of people watching, it's like, well, hang on, Andrew's been a mechanic for 33 years. He's always investing in the latest kit, and he's just got a master's, and he's got 300 business books in his office. What is that? Where does that come from?
I just like learning because you can be the best mechanic, the best accountant, the best plumber. It doesn't mean you're the best business person. And this is where you see so many people going wrong, where they can be great at what they do, but running a business and being a plumber, an accountant, mechanic, or anything, it's different.
Yeah.
Unless you're running a business consultancy, I suppose, and then you'd hope that you'd be quite good at business.
But they're probably not doing that particularly well as plumbers' toilets, isn't it? It's the same sort of thing, know how to do it.
I think cobblers' kids would be better than plumbers' toilets.
Yeah, fair enough. What was the thought process behind the masters? Why did you want to do that?
Quest for knowledge.
Okay.
Because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
There was a chap who popped up and started talking about garage business. And he hadn't done a master's. He'd done something, and he'd done a postgrad certificate, I think, at Loughborough. And then the next minute, I'm signed up to an entry-level master's at Loughborough to do with strategic leadership in the automotive industry.
Yes, it's quite specific.
Yes. Yeah, it was very specific with other similar industry people.
Yeah. What was you did a dissertation?
Yes.
Yeah. What was that? What was that on? I can't remember. Was it trainees and apprentices? What was the detail of that? I can't remember.
It was about the lack of technicians locally.
Yeah.
The lack of motor vehicle technicians locally. Mm-hmm. So we have, as in most skills, there's a big shortage. Yeah. And that affects delivery, service delivery, wage,
cost to
clients, but also just a diminishing gene pool. And what could we do to improve that? Why was it happening, and what could we do to improve that?
What was the outcome?
The outcome is you have to work together with the employer, the secondary education college, and the apprentice. The only system that really works well is the German ones, where you have
what you'd expect.
You're indentured, so you can't just leave or be poached. The return on investment.
Oh, so they have to stay for a certain period of time.
They have to stay, and that's done by the unions.
Oh, right.
So the agreement is with a union,
right? Okay,
which I'm not sure would be the right answer here.
Don't like that. Not sure I like that word.
No.
You've also recently become UK's top technician. 2024, was it? Or 2025? I can't remember.
2024.
2024. So,
yes.
And that, is that's the highest accolade in the independent industry?
Yeah, so that's something I'd been working at for quite a long time. Mm-hmm. So, and that is a broad spectrum of anything mechanical, any make of car. You don't know
So you can fix any car. So I can bring mine to you.
Yeah, I'm glad you don't.
Yeah. So you're fixing any car.
Yeah, you could have any problem presented to you.
Okay.
It starts off with about several thousand entries.
Okay.
It's whittled down by two rounds of multiple choice questions. Then you have written open questions. Then it's whittled down to 10 people from the open questions. They're quite the 1,000, 2,000 word answers.
Yep.
And they're quite tough questions. That's how they managed to get it down to that number. And then you have practical. You go over to the UK and you have a morning of practical tests. So you don't know what it is. You go in there, you read a sheet.
Just like MasterChef for mechanics. Yeah. Great. You've been to the final a couple of times.
I was in the semi-finals twice.
Okay, cool. Okay. What was the difference? How did you go from... was there a learning process, or was it just experience of having done it a couple of times?
A bit of both. So it's quite nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to get. But I did a lot of work for the final. I did an awful lot of training. And when you don't know what it is, the training's very wide. But you get an idea. It's going to be about electric vehicles.
Right.
It's going to be about network. It's going to be about the things that are the training buzzes at the time.
I know that you've invested a lot of money in EV and you've been part of setting up EV rental cars. Again, so lots of learning coming through, investment in the right kit and up-to-date kit, but also investment in research and development. And again, what's the balance between, well, I think that's a good idea commercially, or I just really love this stuff and I just want to know all about it? What sort of percentage split do you think that?
The stuff you really love and you want to know all about it, you have to do that in your own time if you don't think that's going to be a good business decision.
Okay.
With the EV cars, I always get people saying, oh, well, it's not the right thing and it's this and it's bad for the environment and the carbon footprint. My answer is, I'm not here to make that decision. I drive electric cars and we have electric cars because that is what we've been given to work with. That's what's in our...
Yeah, I mean, customers bring them in, right?
Yeah.
And so it is what it is.
And everybody has to know how they work. They have to eat, breathe and sleep them. We have electric loan cars. We encourage staff to take them home at weekends, charge them on different charges. So everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
I did have a strategy because the German manufacturers were very late to the market when it came to electric or hybrid vehicles.
Okay.
Toyota had them out there since 1998.
Wow.
And the Germans were roughly 2015 mainstream. Okay. The i3 came out in bigger numbers. And it was a very loose strategy, but it was the first time I saw an i3 for sale secondhand. I had written a plan of that's the time to go. So when that happened, that means they're actually in my market there.
Yeah.
And so I started doing the training. I bought 2 broken Priuses.
Right.
And made a good one.
Okay. From the parts of the other one.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
And then learnt about it.
Yeah.
My wife did not like the ex-Prius taxi.
Right.
Driving around in.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
But learnt a lot. I donated that to Highlands afterwards. They still have it to this day.
Right.
And they use that for training.
Cool.
And then we trained everybody else. I actually got a grant from government and I trained 109 other technicians, mechanics,
I didn't know.
To the level 3, which is how you...
Enough to do it.
Enough to service and repair
there we go.
Electric and hybrid vehicles.
There we go. So, I mean, so in terms of, you've gone through learning, gone through sort of discipline around looking at innovation, talking about those sorts of things. But in terms of, over the years, looking back at from a business point of view rather than anything else, what are the sort of things that you thought that you've tried that you knew might not work, but you were going to try them anyway? What are the what's the lessons that you've learned over the years about running your business that may be counterintuitive or that are just important to know purely from a business perspective rather than from a customer service, from a job delivery point of view?
Most people, or in my industry anyway, it goes back to being the best mechanic, best plumber, manual trades is what I can relate to mostly, is the paperwork aspect. Okay. Even single person businesses, sole trader, is paperwork, invoicing.
Right.
I see so many people fall foul of that and even stop trading because they haven't got their invoices out. They run out of cash.
So discipline around operation, like just working capital, trying to get the getting paid as quickly as possible for the work that you've done, basically.
Yeah, or even just invoicing. Even if you've got low overheads, it's just actually, getting the churn.
It's not enough just to do the job. You've got to look after the business too.
Yeah. I mean, that's easier nowadays with computers.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds ridiculous saying with computers. Most people don't even remember when there wasn't computers.
No. But still, some people take ages to send invoices out.
Yeah.
So,
they've still got to get in front of the computer.
Or get someone else to do it. I mean, where's your trade-off between sort of doing things? When do you think, well, I should do that myself, I'll save the money, and actually I'll pay someone else to do that, in terms of non-mechanicking stuff? Yeah.
That depends on the size of your business a lot of the time.
Okay.
Because there is a cost involved to it. And you have to figure out whether the cost involved in outsourcing things is going to be offset by you being freed up time to work or freed up time to be with your family.
Yeah.
Because that's very important.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people will be all Sunday doing their paperwork until they get back to work on Monday.
Yeah.
So my advice to people is outsource whatever you can. Because no matter what how your week is planned, something's always going to be upsetting it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
there is always something that comes from left field.
Yeah.
Something doesn't go right. Nothing goes.
No, it's never a straight line.
According to the plan. Yeah. And the things that get put to one side is things that aren't core. Yeah. So you'll be fixing that problem car. You won't be doing your invoicing or back-end accountancy, GST, anything like that. So anything you can outsource, outsource.
And you're using occasional HR support, obviously with us accountants. You got, and marketing to some degree. There'll be some support for any. I mean, you don't do much marketing.
No, we don't.
But in terms of those operational things, is how you go through a selection process for looking at working with outsourced partners. What's the sort of thought process you're going through when trying to work out who to work with? Is it I could have a pint with them, or what's the rationale by which you would decide on which partners to work with?
At first, it would be, what sort of response do you get?
Yeah.
So if you ask someone about their business and they come back to you 10 days later, that's no good.
No, yeah.
But if they come back to you in a reasonable time, and it's not been written by ChatGPT, I've had a few of them recently.
Okay. Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't even the paid version that was that bad.
Right. Okay.
Or any other of the, any other things. You can normally feel if it's someone you like to do business with. Recommendation, of course, is always good.
Yeah.
I normally ask you. Because you're dealing with all sorts of different businesses. You could say, I don't think they're for you, or that's too much. You and your team are very helpful for us to bounce things off like that.
We're across a lot of businesses, so we do see what pricing and things like that. Over the period of the business, are there sort of 2 or 3 things that you look at, you think, oh, that was a really good decision? I mean, what sort of the big things that you've done that you thought, with the benefit of hindsight, I'm so happy that I did that? What sort of things are there?
Getting involved with you, actually.
Right, okay. Great, thank you.
All the conferences and everything I look at within my industry over the last 5 years is talking about how garages need to know their numbers. What are their KPIs? What are you following? You need to have a dashboard. You need to have a budget, which sounds normal for a lot of businesses. In my industry, that's not there.
Right.
So people are pushing and selling this and encouraging people to do this. You did that 12 years ago. it was revolutionary for us to be able to see our figures. Most people do their accounts at the end of the year because they have to for the tax.
Yeah.
Profit to them is what's in the bank after they've paid the bills, or probably not paid all the bills.
Or not paid all the bills, yeah. No, indeed. I mean, I was looking back and from when you've come on till now, the business has grown sort of 275%. I didn't have a clue what the number was when I was working it out this morning. And inflation's 56%. So, I mean, you've done 220 odd percent sort of growth in the organisation. I mean, how much of that do you think has been, that ambition, or is it having confidence because you know your cash flows and therefore you can invest more? Or what do you think's driven that performance just that's so far above and beyond just price rises?
I would say I'm not driven by growth.
No, okay. No, you're not. We argue about that all the time.
Yeah. I don't have a quest for, garage domination.
No.
It's just natural expansion with the customer base. When you become too busy, when your lead time increases too much,
you have to grow the infrastructure.
To grow. Yeah, that's hard in Jersey.
Yes, especially in Tunnel Street, because it's not a massive. There's not a massive amount of room.
No, we've taken over lots of bits. Yeah. So
I think that's the thing, isn't it? Because I think you were probably at three or four ramps, and then at some point you took the back of the building on, and then obviously you took the front. Can't remember, St Saviour's Road, isn't it?
Yes.
So, and actually what was really interesting to me is that there's even though the expansion in St Saviour's Road didn't bring more ramps, it brought a car park which enabled you to actually deliver a lot more. There was value in having the ability to store more cars, which is, again, so it's something that's quite counterintuitive. You wouldn't have thought that just being able to store more things makes you
the most expensive car park in Jersey.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, it's but it works.
Yeah, it's amazing
because for the working area, for each ramp you need 3 or 4 cars.
Yeah,
to for that person
for
each day. So if you've got 7 ramps.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, then you've got some dead cars. Yeah,
a lot of cars. In terms of the team, there's a number of them that have been with you a very long time.
Yes.
And Neil's the number 2. I mean, how long? Is it 25 years or how long's Neil?
Neil's been with me for 30.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's been there since he left school.
Right.
He's quite old now.
Yeah, I've been delighted that you said that.
But people say to him, it must be a great job. Well, he says, I don't actually know because I've never had another one. But
what do you think? So how's that relationship become so it's not like a married old couple, but like what's you've worked together for such a long time. It's obviously complete trust there. How did you foster that? And did it happen very slowly, or was it quite quick, or was it the search for excellence and he responded to that? What was it that we've created that loyalty?
Grown together, really.
Okay.
Yeah, he bosses me around every day.
Yeah.
Going back to growth and Neil's position and other people in the garage, another thing when I stand back and look at businesses now, when you're looking at growth, one of the hardest things for growth in a small business, growing to medium business, is to relinquish control.
Yeah.
To have the founder or principal relinquish control is very difficult.
Yeah.
And that is a hard step, and some people don't manage it.
Yeah.
If you can do that, you unlock so much more potential.
Yeah.
And you think, people won't do it as well as I, and it won't be quite as good. It's pretty much that's true.
Yeah.
But great.
It's still clearly good enough. I mean, the business continues to grow.
Yeah, it's good. And funny enough, as time goes on, some of Neil's decisions are
been great. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's a really interesting balance. I've had it with Julie and then with Ollie more recently, and a lot of the businesses I've worked with, there's been a sort of someone who's a visionary, who's driven, who's probably more demanding than people might like, that sort of person. Then there's that really solid operational excellence, really cares about the team and the customers and just sort of knits together and occasionally mops up the aftermath of someone coming in and seagulling all over everybody. But, I think it's often the case that when you're going from sort of, 12 to 20 staff or something like that, that number 2 is such an important hire to have. And they don't necessarily want to be the figurehead of everything and out there and being the visionary, but they're very happy to be a really important part of what's going on. And, and he's, you've looked after him and he's become, a director and all those sorts of things. And so, I mean, that must feel like, maybe it felt natural, or maybe it was, I need to make this decision to make sure that he's continuing to be happy. Or how do you feel about that decision to bring him in?
It helps when, in my absence, decision making, authority within the workplace.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, do the team go to him now, or do they come to you? Or
no, they go to him.
They go to him.
They go to him.
Yeah.
I've gone full circle in the business. I actually, apart from the strategic planning and stuff, and some of the vision stuff, I actually doing what I love doing now. I'm back fixing cars. Yeah. And some people are shocked. They'll meet me out, or they'll meet me in some, people from university have come over to visit, or customers that I see at business events, and they come to the business and they come to see me, and they're shocked I'm not in civilian clothes, I call it. I'm in my work gear. I'll come in my bay. I've got a nice office upstairs and a, training room and stuff, but this is where I work. This is what I love to do. Yeah. Before coming here, I was fixing cars. Yeah. I was trying to keep clean, crawling around on the floor and stuff. But I was like, oh, okay, right, I'll nip off now.
Yeah. You've done not no marketing, but you've done very little compared to a lot of other people in terms of marketing. I mean, what do you put down because you have had significant growth and volume of customers. What do you put that down to? What's the reason for that?
Because we've been going so long, marketing was very basic in those days. It was the yellow pages.
Yeah.
And then we didn't do any other marketing. And it grew word of mouth. We were lucky to have some very good older customers who were good ambassadors for us, and they spread the word. That's still happening now, but still people haven't heard of us. With the electric cars, we're experts in electric vehicles. Yep. And we hadn't told anybody.
Right.
Because we just presumed people would know that if we're doing BMWs and Mercedes, we'd be doing electric BMWs and Mercedes. Yeah. People didn't think like that.
No.
That was a shock to us. Even my dad said, I think you should get involved with these electric cars, son. Thinking, goodness me, I've just spent 3 years, upskilling myself through the UK, Europe, and even America training. Yeah. And my dad doesn't know we fix electric cars.
Crazy. So what have you done about that?
Radio advert, actually.
Okay.
Some just constant drip-fed sort of radio advertising.
And you think are people saying, I heard you on the radio? Or is that
people don't even know they hear it on the radio, I think.
Okay, that's interesting.
Because people will come in and they used to we've changed the advert now, but we had some phrases in there. We asked them, where did you hear about the garage? Oh, someone told me. But they didn't, because some of the stuff they said was what they'd heard on the radio. Yeah. So I thought that was quite powerful. When you have conversations in other jurisdictions, radio doesn't work for them. It works very well in Jersey because of the...
Yeah. There's only one.
There's only...
Well, two, maybe, yeah.
There's
one you can advertise on.
Yeah, only one real advertising, and I think it has quite a large...
Yeah, because taking on the extra ramps, you obviously, we were talking when you were talking about doing that. It's like, okay, well, what does the volume change need to be to afford the investment that you're going to be able to make? But, you've got your lead times back to where they were before, quite a while ago. You got your lead times back to where they were before you had those extra ramps. And so there's just been a change in volume. Yeah. And maybe a slight reduction in sort of the time between phoning up and getting into a service. But not that much, is it? I mean, it's still 2 to 3 weeks, something like that.
Ideally, that's where you want it, but with gaps for breakdowns and stuff. Yeah. That can be an hour's worth of conversation. That's not not an exact science.
I mean, system-wise, you've had the same system for. I mean, how long have you had the GDS system in? It's quite a long time, isn't it?
Quite a long time, but we had an old DOS-based system before that.
Okay.
So we did go to computer invoicing very early on, I say, and I kept this old DOS-based system going within a Windows environment, dot matrix type printers and converters for that, and eventually moved on to a newer system, which we have to this day.
Yeah.
But like most systems, people don't utilize it to its full capacity, be it your phone, your computer. We're getting there now with this system where we may have to change, but they are actually...
They'll start to innovate.
They're starting to innovate as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and how much... And I mean, presumably without that, just none of it would work. It's fundamental that you've got a line of business system that is driving the performance every day of the business.
Yes, but you've got to have processes in place because you still need to go through...
There's still some paper kicking about, isn't there, I think?
Much to your dislike.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a little bit of paper. Yeah. Not much. We talk in some of our businesses around whether or not an iPad can replace a worksheet. And there's still, I don't know how long it's going to be before the resistance to that, if it will ever go away. I don't know. Well, if people don't fill out a worksheet, are they going to fill out an iPad?
I guess
what's the difference?
Only if it electrocutes them for not doing so. There'll be some sort of, I guess it can remind. There might be some sort of notification or reminder process. I don't know.
They'll just lose the iPad. At least you can reprint the job sheet.
Yeah, well, that's true.
But then you've got GDPR issue because you've just lost the data.
Yeah. In terms of technological innovation, I mean, how do you see AI actually having any impact on the business or not really?
Yes, that's a really good question. Everybody should be getting involved in AI.
Right.
But most people I speak to are still using AI as they would use Google. That's not how it really works.
Yeah.
You have to set it up with your data. You have to tell it. You have to
invest in the process.
Yeah, and you need to be getting on it now because the productivity. It's absolutely brilliant in reducing your times to do anything.
How do you see it impacting the garage day to day, specifically? You don't have to say if you don't want to.
No. I'm more worried for you as an accountant than I am for me as a mechanic.
I'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as industries, people are doing things with their hands.
Yes. Well, we've had that bet.
We have that bet.
The robots are coming. I think you should be worried.
I saw the panorama program, and I think car mechanics is going to be not in our lifetime. Be all right? Yeah.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to winning. So it's quite. It
wouldn't be the first time you've lost to me, though.
Well, that's true. That is true. So I mean, outside of assuming the robots aren't coming, I mean, what do you think's not going to change in your industry, in your business over the next 5 years?
Someone still has to fix these cars. People think that you just plug a computer in and it tells you what's wrong with the car, and then you action that.
Right. But that's not what happens.
That's not what happens.
Okay.
It happens in some instances, maybe 50%, but then there's some testing to be done. If it can't talk to the unit, it can't tell you what's wrong with it. So you have to go and figure out why it can't talk to the unit.
Okay. What's the unit mean? I don't know what
sorry. So a car is made up of about 50 little computers.
Oh, right. Okay.
And so you go in and you speak to the main computer that speaks to all the other little computers.
Right.
So I have one at the moment, a Mini, and it's flashing up a message on the screen, and it says it can't speak to the
computer 24
computer that controls the roof.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, there we go. I mean, do you think some of the faults will be able to be fixed over the air by AI in the future? I mean, what's the...
Most manufacturers now are having software updates over the air. Yeah. So your car might do it. My car does it. That's little software patches like you have on your computer. You can fix software, but you can't fix hardware.
No.
So the biggest enemy of cars and electrics is normally water.
Yeah.
We have a lot of problems with water getting in.
And the air in Jersey's a bit different to the UK, I think.
We don't have as much problem with rust that way, unless you live right on the seafront.
Okay.
But the salt on the roads in the UK does more damage than we see with our salt air here.
Okay.
I say, apart from if you are actually living on the coast.
The beach. Interesting. So in terms of the hardware faults, that's when the computer can't work it out because the hardware's broken.
Yeah. So if you have some corrosion on a terminal, it can do all sorts of weird things. It gets half a signal.
And so in terms of someone always needs to fix the car, so you're always going to have the training needs. You're always going to have, a shortage of resource in terms of, getting the people that coming through, because people naturally move on from time to time. And what's the plan to be able to keep the pipeline of good quality team members coming through?
Keep training people. I've been doing this for a long time. I think I've had 4 employees who have left and started their own garage.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah. 3 locally in Jersey. One chap left after 9.5 years in December. When that happens, it puts a smile on my face. I think I've done my job well.
Yeah. I guess there's often a feeling that you, as a business owner, when things are going well, you don't want them to change. So the expectation is, if you're paying people well and you give them a good environment, be happy and keep doing that every day, please. And there's that.
Stay in your box, that nearly says to me.
Not quite stay in your box, but, there's a hope that you can, that when things are going well, that they won't change. But, that just doesn't happen.
We all know that.
It just doesn't happen because life, people's personal lives or the economy or whatever might change. Embracing that, I guess, is a healthier response than getting angry about it, because it just is what it is, right? And after 33 years, that there's always going to be something that is going to come up and change all those things. I mean, and in terms of the energy for it, what you said earlier was, the fact that there's always going to be something every day, it does require a lot of energy. And
every week.
Every day, right? Every week something happens, and every day it's like, okay, well, what's going to happen today? And I think we're seeing very, very few people want to follow in their parents' footsteps. I think we've had out of 250 odd businesses, there may be 2 where the kids are looking to take over from their parents. And a lot of people are sort of not wanting to go into business for themselves as well, because they think, well, I can go and work in finance, or I can go and do something and I'll get paid and it'll all be, I don't have that pressure of running the business. Yes, doing something that you love, but it is different running a business to being a really great mechanic or a really great accountant. Yeah, and so what would you say to people who are thinking about going into business, but just don't know if, do you think it's natural that entrepreneurs have that energy to do it? Or do you think it's just about loving what you do? Or because it is a different skill set to being just good at something. Where does it come from that you've got that energy to go again? And almost like a game, right? It's almost like, it's like five-a-side football and, goal goes in, you've got an hour and a half left and you go again and you score another one, then they score one, then you go again and, all that sort of thing. What would you say to people looking to go into business and about the energy required to do that and why it's good and why it's maybe not good?
It takes a lot of energy and you have to be passionate. You can't half do it. No. You've got to be fully committed. Sometimes I think it's harder now and sometimes I think it's easier.
Okay. That's interesting.
Sometimes I think it's easier now with the information available. And
to you or just generally?
Generally.
Okay.
So if you wanted to set up a business years ago, what would you do? You didn't really know what to do. You had to figure it out
as you went along. Yeah.
You just have to figure it out as you went.
Yeah.
Now you can look and you can have everything set up.
Do you mean learn from mistakes by researching online? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. I came across an old business plan I'd written to the bank.
Oh, right, okay.
It was absolutely shocking, and they passed it. I'll dig it out. I found it in the filing cabinet the other day. Yeah. And I think, but if you were to do that now, you could put something pretty nicely constructed together with no knowledge.
Yeah.
But then you've got to find a bank that's got a person to speak to. So that's probably that. Then that's the.
Yeah, I mean, getting funding is. I mean, most people who set up it'll be friends and family first time round because no one's going to help.
Speak to your hairdresser.
Speak to your hairdresser.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yes. In 20 minutes, I think I'm going there. So, I mean, in terms of sort of key decisions you've got coming up, what are the things that you're thinking about right now in terms of the direction of travel for the business? Is there any big decisions you've got?
Well, I'm always trying to be 5 years ahead.
Yeah.
So when something comes into our gene pool, we already have that service, we have that skill. Things nowadays over the last 10 years are slightly different, where you need a qualification, and those qualifications need to be updated, which in some industries that's the norm. In the mechanics industry, that's not.
Okay.
And people still aren't embracing that.
Because
it's easier not to for them, or it's too difficult.
Right.
But then that's where, if you look at the electric vehicles, everybody in Ruellans is trained to work on electric cars, and 3-4 people have the top qualification, the level 4, working on live batteries.
Right. Amazing.
And so when that comes in, we share that work across everybody. So so the specialism just doesn't rely on one person.
Yeah, there's resilience in the team.
Yeah. And businesses fail to do that because they think, oh, that person could leave. But that's life. That happens. And we go back to that. That's good. But that doesn't happen a lot. If you have a good environment, some people don't have the appetite.
No.
Not many people do have the appetite for that. As you was saying earlier, it's a big step.
Yeah. There must be some infrastructure. I mean, you did it without a ramp, but presumably, setting up now, can you still fix? You'd still need some infrastructure costs.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you. It depends what you do, and I mean, we now calibrate radar and camera systems for vehicles.
Okay, what does that mean?
So your car has a radar in the back bumper, the front bumper.
Oh, right. The beeping thing.
No.
Oh, right.
It's actually a radar. It's not an ultrasonic sensor.
Okay.
So when cars are coming past you, you have the blind spot indicator in your mirrors.
Right.
You have an anti-collision so you don't run up the car. You have active cruise control, all these things.
Yeah.
Most people in Jersey don't actually use the functions, but there has to be working properly.
Okay.
You have a camera, it reads the road signs you've probably seen, and it tells you when you're speeding.
The manufacturers will naturally innovate the cars, and so the processes that the garage goes through is we always adjust what's coming next, and so you're always sort of keeping up pace with the speed with which the manufacturers are innovating.
Yeah, I always try. I'm fortunate that I can.
Yeah, you got the time.
Sit back. I can keep abreast of what's going on, and I can formulate a plan or a strategy so that we can have that implemented at the correct time that we need it.
#GreatAtBusiness. I mean, 33 years, national awards. What do you think is the difference between a good business and a great business?
There's lots of good businesses about.
Yep.
There's not many great businesses about.
Agreed.
But great business can be all different things. So great business could be for the customer.
Yep.
It could be for the staff, or it could be for...
Or all three.
The owners,
shareholders.
You've just stolen my words. So I was going to say, a great business looks after all aspects.
Yeah.
And they have to be good for all those people. So a great place to work, great great service delivery, good return.
Profit. Yeah. Good profit as well. So,
But good profit is profit without lots of aggro. Yeah. So some people make loads of money, but they have loads of grief getting there.
Yeah.
I prefer to have less and peace.
Yes. Yes, you can still have more and peace. It's just how
you can,
who you get to help to do that is the key. is the key thing there. I mean, and so I mean, in terms of greatness, it's if you were to put that into metrics, you'd be looking at staff retention. Like, how long does the average employee last with you? How many years do customers come back? All that sort of
stickiness of customer.
Yeah, exactly.
We have that conversation a lot.
Yeah, reputation. Around the island, that sort of thing. And I think the core of that is doing a great job every day, being fair to the team, training and development. And it's putting in enough effort and sacrifice that's worth it, from a financial point of view, to make sure that you're looking after the team in the right way, to therefore for them to look after the customers and be able to look after the customers in the right way, and for the customers to be happy to pay a price that actually works for the shareholders. And so there's a big
the
circle of love, in terms of the service delivery.
They have to be, proud about where they work.
Yeah.
Every single person is an ambassador for the company.
Yeah.
But you talk about good and great business. the level of where we put good seems to have altered.
Okay, what do you mean?
So, that was good, that was great. But what used to be normal is now good.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people not
good.
Not good. It's actually the level. So if something happens on time,
yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's normal.
Yeah.
What happened to the normal?
Yeah.
People doing things when they say they're going to do, arriving on time.
Yeah.
Being ready for a meeting on time, having your car serviced and having it ready on the right time.
Yeah.
Communicating. Yeah. Someone rings, someone answers the phone. You email someone, they email you back. So.
Yeah, it's not rocket science, is it?
No.
Why do you think the standards have slipped?
I think if people within your company aren't proud to be part of the company, if they don't look at their part within the company as being part of the jigsaw,
important.
And they're just there, existing.
But yes, to some degree, but sort of expectations management, right? I mean, one of my favourite stories about you, and I tell people, is about when we first, you agreed to be on the website 12 years ago or whatever it was. And there was a photo of me and you in the garage, and there was a tiny little oil splot on the floor, and you're like, I hate that photo. Yeah. And that's a level of attention to detail and excellence that is not normal. I think we would agree, well, it should be, right? That's what we're setting out to be, the very best that we can be, and we expect that of everybody around us. But because it's actually a relatively easy environment, to work in Jersey, and people, generally speaking, can come in and have a lifestyle that they're okay with, there aren't many people who are willing to be difficult about that level of expectation and set that level of expectation every day. So I think that's, I agree with you that the standards are slipped, but I would say that certainly, my experience of you is that the standards are incredibly high, and for anyone who's gone through the process of reading 300 business books, doing a master's, and becoming UK Technician of the Year, their assessment of normal might not be normal.
But maybe not.
But, that's if you want a business that is able to keep the team happy and there for a long time, delight the customers and make good profit, that is where it comes from. It comes from that desire for excellence and standard setting. And yes, the team need to feel part of it. But there's a Napoleonic view of the world that small business owners have around excellence that is the difference, I think, in my experience. And you've certainly got that. So, Andrew, thank you very much for your time. That was really enjoyed talking to you about that. Lots of stuff I didn't know, which is always, good for me. And congratulations on everything, and look forward to the next 5 years working together. So
yeah, thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers.